Welcome to the Sanctum of Raph's Temple loop. This guide aims to give you a better understanding of the loop, as well as how to loop it as both survivor and killer. The loop consists of 4 windows and 2 to 4 potential pallet spawns. The primary loop window is located at the stairs here. Another window can be found parallel to that, and there are 2 windows at the back that should only really be used if you are balance landing as a survivor. 2 of the pallets can spawn upstairs close to the primary loop window, and 2 other pallets can spawn on either side of the temple. Usually only 2 pallets will spawn here in total, 1 up and 1 down. There can be found 2 lockers on the temple, and sometimes a chest and a totem will also spawn here. The main looping for survivor consists in vaulting the window at the stairs, and then rotating back up to perform the same action again. Depending on the distance and if the killer is either vaulting or going down the stairs, you should be able to loop this 2 to 3 times as a survivor without any kind of problem. When playing as a killer, you want to wait upstairs and try and bait the vault from the survivor. Once the survivor has vaulted, drop down for a potential free hit. As a survivor, you need to anticipate the killer dropping down by fake vaulting the window. This can sometimes result in the killer dropping down too early, in which case you can do one of 2 things. You can either A. take the win and lead the loop, or B. rotate around the long side of the temple to loop it that way. If you're a killer and want to end the loop, go back upstairs and take the high ground. The survivor is now forced to lead the loop, or potentially getting dropped down on from above. If the killer doesn't go above but follows you from downstairs as a survivor, just loop it like so. Do not try and fake the window from this position, as the killer can drop down from here and get a free hit. Okay, let's take a few steps back to faking the window for a minute. If you do happen to fall for the fake as a survivor, you now have a few potential options depending on your distance to the killer. You can either A. vault the window and hope the killer swings and misses, in which case you can loop the temple like usual, or you can B. try and fake the window and then run upstairs and try and play around the pallet. If you're a killer here, just move around and then force the window vault. The survivor will stumble from the drop, and you should be able to catch it before you get up the stairs to the temple again. If you play your cards correctly as a killer, you should get a hit here. Sometimes you also have these kind of fake wars between the survivor and killer, where it's possible for the survivor to bait out a swing, in which case you can loop the temple again, or for the killer to get hit on the window. It's more or less 50-50 in my experience. An advanced strategy as a survivor is to start the loop downstairs, and then rotate to either side depending on which way the killer chooses to loop. So if the killer drops down here, you then rotate around the long side of the loop, and if the killer goes around the stairs, you rotate to the short side of the loop. There is one more potential way for the survivor to loop this temple, but it relies on the killer making a mistake. When you rotate around the long side of the loop, you can vault the window on the parallel side of the main window loop. And if the killer drops down on this side, then you can rotate back to the main loop window. All the killer has to do here is drop down around the stairs to deny it, in which case you end up playing around an unsafe pallet as a survivor. I have to stress that as a survivor, you're supposed to use the pallets in conjunction with the loop, not just randomly waste them. So if something goes wrong in the loop, you can always use them as a second chance to extend your chases. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you learned something, or like how to loop this loop. It's quite a difficult loop to learn, mainly because there's so many options. There's like 4 windows, there's like 4 different pallets. Which way do you go? Where do you drop down as a killer? Which window do you take as a survivor? That can be quite hard. There's a few extra things you can do as a survivor, like you can actually loop the back window, but again it really depends on the killer rotating the wrong way, which is highly unlikely. And I didn't really include the drop zones as killer, but I feel like they're quite obvious. They are both on the side of the loop. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, take care.